In this video, we're going to take a close look at purchase orders, which follows on from the RFQ and purchase request videos. Let's navigate to the purchase planning board, which shows a list of purchase requests for assets, tools, parts and supplies with the associated suppliers. Before we create the purchase order, we can see under Acme Company that RFQs exist for the 5 parts and the prices quoted have been entered into the unit price field. Select the parts to be included in the purchase order. Note, you can only select the parts from the same supplier. If you want to add a part from another supplier, you must click Change Supplier first. When all the parts are checked, click Generate PO to move the requested parts to a purchase order. When the PO is created, you'll notice it's in draft status. The supplier information has been populated and the parts needed have been added. Let's start by adding our payment terms and expected delivery date. If there is no part number in the system, you can click the hyperlink to add it on the fly. This information is saved to the part so next time it's updated automatically. The quantity needed, unit price, or tax rate can be adjusted if needed. Any related RFQs, charge department, or account will be shown for each line item if available. In addition, more parts can be added to this PO if needed by clicking the Add icon on the bottom left-hand side of the window. Under the Additional Costs tab, it's possible to add the cost of shipping or overwrite the tax. Additional costs can be added using the Add icon, but these need to be configured in the Settings Lookup Table section of the CMMS first. In the General tab, you can add a charge department or account for the entire purchase order. You can also specify the currency and add a reference number if needed. In the Shipping and Receiving tab, you can specify the ship to and bill to addresses. These will appear on the purchase order. The Notifications tab shows which users or user groups will be sent notifications regarding this purchase order. The Logistics and Purchasing groups are added by default to every purchase order. In addition, the users that requested the parts are also added to the notifications list. You can click the Add icon to manually add more people if necessary. Let's add Dave, the plant manager, to this as he wants to be kept in the loop for this order. Just like any record in the CMMS, we can drag and drop any related files in the Files tab of the purchase order. Let's add a scan of that quote we received by fax from Acme Supplier. The Discussion tab is used to log any conversations relating to this purchase order, while the Activity log records the different times and dates for the status changes through the life of the purchase order. The next step is to send the purchase order through the approval process. Click Submit for approval. Here's a snapshot of the default purchase order flow that ships with the CMMS. The purchase order starts its life in draft and ends when the order is fulfilled. It's possible to customize the purchase order approval workflow yourself in the Lookup Table section of Settings, and this is covered in more detail in the Configure Purchase Order Workflow video. Let's say the purchase order has been approved and ready to be sent. Click Send to Supplier. When the preview window opens, there are 4 options. 1. You can change your mind and hit the X to cancel and leave the purchase order in approved status. 2. You can click Mark as Sent, which will mark the purchase order as on order, but won't send the email. You would choose this option if you intend printing and faxing or mailing the purchase order. 3. You can print the preview here if needed. 4. You can click Send Email, which officially dispatches the email to the supplier and marks the PO as being on order. Click Send Email and the PO is now on order. At this stage, it's not possible to add any more line items to the PO, change pricing, or change quantities. The PO is already sent. And that's it. The next stages in the life of the PO will be covered in the PO Receipts video.